Good evening and welcome to Local Impact, coming to you live from Stage 1 Creative Spaces in downtown San Jose. I am your host, Christopher Denise, and joining me this evening is Mattie Scariot of the Poppy Jasper International Film Festival. The goal of Local Impact is to expose you, the audience, to local creative organizations through casual conversations with the folks behind the scenes. So, tonight, we'll learn about the Poppy Jasper International Film Festival and what the future holds for 2021 and beyond. Mattie, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Chris.
Well, let's not waste any time. We'll jump right into it. Mattie, tell us a little bit about the festival. What is the Poppy Jasper International Film Festival, and how did you come to be involved with it?
I had been involved with it since 2006. I was just sort of on the periphery as a volunteer, and then was asked in 2017 to become the director of the festival. And I really felt like the planets aligned, and everything I learned throughout my life had culminated to this moment. It really felt like an aha moment. It felt like this thing that I was supposed to do. And as a filmmaker, I knew what I wanted out of a festival. As a director of a festival, I had no idea. But I've been winging it, and you know what? We've been doing very well. And so I took it from a 2-day festival with 300 people showing up to now it's an 8-day festival and we predicted almost 5,000 people showing up.
Wow.
We are a mission-driven, all-volunteer nonprofit. And our mission is inclusion, diversity, and women empowerment. That's how we program our film festival, that's how we built our board, and that's how we build our educational programs. And we have today about 7 educational programs that we do for free, and it's for 4-year-olds all the way up to 104-year-olds.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, understandably, things have changed a little bit. I was actually lucky to be at the festival last year. Really, really enjoyed it. It was a huge ballroom opening night gala. I got to dress up even more so than this. It was a lot of fun. But of course, this year can't do anything live. And I know that you guys had to pivot. You had to move some of your stuff online and kind of scramble to get things done. Tell us a little bit about that pivot.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking. I really had worked for 4 years to build up to the festival that we had in 2020, which was 8 days and 200 films, half of them directed by women from 38 countries. I was really excited, but it wasn't safe. We had to cancel it, and part of me wanted to wait a few months and then do it. But I was like, how do I move this thing in 6 months and then I have to start over again? So we just decided, let's just cancel it. We're a small festival, really. And
only 3,000 or 4,000 people.
Really, we're small, we're tiny. And so I thought, let's just wait till next year. It's not, these films aren't like milk. They're not gonna go bad. So they're going to be fine if we wait another, few months, and then we'll do something like hybrid. We'll do a hybrid model. We'll be live in our in a safe way. I really want our award ceremony. We have 20 awards we're going to be giving out, from Icon Awards, Community Awards, and Filmmaker Awards. And I thought, why don't we just be at a different business for each award? Like a winery would say, hey, we're here drinking champagne and we're gonna tell you what the best comedy film is gonna be. And so we'll pre-record that, but we'll be live, and we'll just we'll just make it happen and make it work and make it fun and include our businesses and our filmmakers, and do panel discussions and have our industry panelists.
So is that what you're doing right now? You're kind of making it work for the awards part of this year's festival?
Yeah, we had an 8-day festival. It's probably going to be 10 days online, because the festival was only in Morgan Hill when I first got it. Now it's in Morgan Hill, San Martin, Gilroy, Hollister, and San Juan Bautista.
So it's like the South Bay festival.
It's a regional event, which is exciting, because that's where I grew up. I grew up in Gilroy. My cousins were in Morgan Hill and Hollister, And so for me, this is natural. This is all home. And so we have to add a few days, because this April we were gonna be in Morgan Hill, Gilroy, and Hollister at the same time. We had films playing in all 3 cities, so we can't do that. So we're gonna have to add a few days. We're gonna change a few things, but we're gonna have fun with it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, you were just mentioning moving some of this to some of your local businesses, trying to help them out a little bit and kind of get things in there. That's something I wanted to talk about a little bit tonight as well, is film festivals have a huge impact on the local economy, especially in smaller towns. When a film festival plays, especially one that plays for 8 days, that's a big boon to all the local businesses, small businesses, event centers. And not having the Poppy Jasper International Film Festival, especially since it's been grown as large as it has, definitely had an impact on local businesses this year. How are you working your way through that? Is there a bright light at the end of the tunnel for that?
Yeah, I think so. When we built this festival, we reimagined it. We saw our filmmakers as one component, our films and our filmmakers as one component, and our community, because you can't put on a film festival like we do with the budget we have without your community. And so that's why we have 7 educational programs, is that's our give back to the community. And then our third component is our downtowns and building economic vitality in our downtowns. So our festival takes place in all the downtowns. And we work with our Visitors Bureau and all that to bring filmmakers into our community. And so we're like, how do we do that? Well, we can still do that. And we can be live at a space. We could be live at Odeum Restaurant in Morgan Hill and have our filmmakers online and have people online at the same time. So we could be safely 6 feet apart at a space, and then at the same time show films and have our filmmakers in a safe space. So we were being able to do that with we call it Poppy Jasper Under the Stars. And so we go to local businesses and we put up our big screen, and we have filmmakers, we have films playing, and we have filmmakers calling in and talking to the audience, and so it's been really exciting, and panel discussions also.
Awesome. Has that been able to drum up business for some of those? People come by and buy wine and beer, something to hang outside, watch the film?
Yeah, we did this one at one of our good friends, and actually he was a board member for the film festival. Rich Ferrato has Morgan's Cove, which is he has about 2 acres of land that has a giant pirate ship. And it looks like, when you go in, it looks like you're in Pirates of the Caribbean, because there's pirates all over the place, skeletons and all kinds of stuff. And then one of the industry professionals that we worked with last year, Don Bees, he worked on all the pirate movies. And so he got his friends that also worked on all the pirate movies. We put up a big screen next to the pirate ship. We hired a caterer, a local caterer, who was hurting because he didn't have any events. And so, he made a lot of money, and it brought a lot of recognition to the community and to the caterer, Troy Garcia, Heavy's girl, at the golf club, at the golf course. So it was a great event, and people were excited. We were safe because we only had 36 people there, but we were also virtual. So we had people outside of our community and outside of our state and country watching at the same time. So
that's pretty awesome. So it sounds like Poppy Jasper's kind of grown from a little hometown, local shindig into this huge international festival that really mixes people up, a lot of diversity, a lot of inclusion, and really bringing people from all over the place. I think my favorite film, and you sent it to me specifically, but my favorite film was that Iranian film, Stone, I think it was called?
Stone on Stone.
Stone on Stone. Absolutely phenomenal. And yes, it was subtitled. I don't care. I complain a little bit about watching subtitled films on Netflix, but realistically speaking, when the content of the film is gripping and engaging like that was, it doesn't matter. I can flick down, read the words, but realistically, I don't need much of the words, because you can see and feel and understand the emotion on the people's faces. Those were great actors, but it was a great story, great direction, all of that. So really enjoyed being able to see something I never would have picked out of out of Iran.
Well, you know what's
Never would have thought about
interesting?
that.
Iran, we get the most films from Iran.
Really?
We got 125 films from Iran this year, and I heard this one other film festival got over 400 films from Iran. So they are prolific filmmakers and artists and musicians. It's a brilliant country. Yeah. And you know, one of the things that I like to do is you know, part of our diversity is showing films from all over the world so that we can change the way we see each other. When you see these films from Iran, it starts changing the way you see Iran. You know, we depend on our media and our politics to tell us what's going on. It's maybe one side of the story. There's another side of the story, and there's, you know, I actually just interviewed 3 filmmakers from Iran recently, and one of them is a journalist, and he worked for CNN, and for 5 years he was in Pakistan, and all they wanted him to do was to report on the suicide bombers. And after a while, he's like, you know, I'm done. He's like, not one day that he was there did he feel scared or in danger. And so we have to, these films are so important that we get the other story and that we see these people from these other countries that we're supposed to be afraid of.
There's other things to report on there.
In a different way, yeah. They tell the same stories we're telling. They have dramas, they have comedies, they have animation. They have all the same stuff. It's just, it has little subtitles, but you forget once you start watching. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Let's talk about the future a little bit. Clearly, 2021 is looming upon us. April is your month du jour. Yeah. Are you planning anything for this coming year?
Yeah, I mean, we will be hybrid. We will show our 205 films from 38 countries, half directed by women. And then we are focusing on, we have one day we're focusing on Mexico, and one day we're focusing on China. So we'll be showing films from those countries. We'll also be having a panel discussion from people in the film industry in those countries. And then we will do a ceremony where we celebrate the art, music, and film of those countries and give out icon awards and film awards. I feel like it's a great way to, you know, there's a deficit in Hollywood with minorities and women, and I think it's a great way to let the world see what they're capable of, and that they should be participating just as much as everybody else.
It's interesting you say that. I just have started seeing the use of this term. I don't know how new it is. It's new to me, and it's a term called the new majority. And the reference is, if you add up all of the minorities, including women, they vastly outnumber white men. It's the new majority, realistically speaking, and this is, you know, 70% of the population, 60, 70% of the population we're not hearing from as much as we should. So thank you very much for doing that with the festival. I think it's extremely important.
It is, and you know, one of the things I just started doing was a Filmmaker Friday, and I highlight a couple of businesses are doing this too, and I highlight a filmmaker, and last week I highlighted Blanche Guy, I think it's Guy, Alice Guy Blanche, and she was the first director, and they think she might be the first director ever in 1896.
Wow.
She's definitely the first female director. But as a woman, to hear that a woman in 1896 had directed a film, and she ended up directing 1,000 films.
Wow.
And she was the first one to direct an all-African-American all-African-American cast feature film. You know, when we start seeing that, we start hearing that, it changes you, and it changes what you think you can accomplish.
Yeah.
And so this is all good stuff, and this is what film does. And I like the idea of the arts being the second responders. You know, with this pandemic, none of us could have made it without film, music, or the arts. Yeah. And so we really are, and I know you're a great filmmaker, we really are the second responders. We really are saving people. And so, yeah, we should be supporting the arts and supporting film festivals and everybody,
Awesome. Well, I look forward to next year and beyond. I know there will be some semi-permanent changes going forward, probably for everybody. I know we're already starting to see some of that here at the studio. But let's go ahead and move on to Q&A at this point. I think we've got a few up on our board here. So, first one's first. How many people or countries, or how many people and countries participate in the festival?
Oh, great. So altogether this year we had over 500 films from 50 countries. And, you know, it was really hard to narrow it down to what we had. But it was easier when we focused on our mission, diverse, inclusive, women empowered. That helped us narrow it down. And yeah, so it was a big year, because the first year I took it over, I think they only had 60 films. And I went to 150 to 300, now 500. So I'm super excited. My jury's freaked out, but I'm excited.
This is just a personal one. Do you watch every film that comes in?
Oh, yeah, I can't help it. It's like Christmas. And you know, my jury chair, Marilyn Pfeiffer, she watches all of them too, because she's just as crazy as I am. But we love it, and that's what we did. We found a jury that loves these films, and you can see it in their descriptions, and we take very good care, and we watch them all the way through, because I know as a filmmaker how hard it is to make a film. So yeah, we watch every second.
Awesome. Well, glad to hear that. So our next question. This is a fun one. Mattie, what is your favorite genre?
Well, I like detective series, you know, which isn't like, you don't see a lot of that in
Like Batman
films.
Detective or
No, yeah, you know,
film
like
noir?
Bosch, you know, like CSI, you know,
Okay.
like old CSI though, like
Yeah.
old CSI, yeah, and all kinds of British. I mean, there's tons of British detectives.
Do you ever watch Get Smart?
No, I haven't. Now, that should be fun.
I guess
But
that's
yeah,
more spy than detective.
I like puzzles. I like that puzzle, but you know, and to be honest, I'm not a big horror fan. But I have seen some of the best horror films in our film festival. Like, we have actually a horror block. We just got so many great horror films in. So I even though if it's not my favorite, I can still, as a filmmaker, I look at it filmically and judge it that way to make sure that it's, you know, it's right for our festival, you know, for our mission, but also that it's done really well.
Yeah. I would say I think I ran into a little bit of that ourselves, or I ran into ourselves. Our business partner, Kevin and I, we started the Screen program here.
Oh,
And we've screened about 100 films to date. It's been about 4 years or so, nothing close to what you guys have done. But what we ran into is that, you know, I'm not necessarily going to like every single film that comes in. He's not necessarily going to like every film that comes in. Our crew that we have vote for us, or help us vote, because it's not fair to just have us two voting on everything. They're not going to like every single film. However, it's different. Who likes what? And it's really interesting that every film there deserves to be watched all the way through. And you gave it to us so that we could watch it. We watch it. We do trim a little bit. There, you know, we have to make sure it's appropriate for the audience and that it's quality enough to play through the speakers and on the TV. But other than that, I think we do the same thing. We respect them. We watch them all the way through, and then we give them out to the audience. So.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing as a festival director is to tell someone they have not been selected.
Yeah.
But I think one thing that filmmakers should understand is we say not selected because that doesn't mean you were rejected. That doesn't mean we didn't like your film. It just means we couldn't fit it. Either we couldn't fit it in or it just wasn't right for our festival.
You have 500 to go through this year? Yeah. Understandable. It's 500 over 8 days. That would be about 40 a day.
Yeah, there's 40 blocks of films. We have 40 blocks.
It's a lot of films. All right, so next question. Future projects other than film festivals. So let's hear a little bit about your career in the film industry outside of the festival circuit.
I was pretty lucky. I have a great partner, and we have a production company, and we do everything you can think of with film. You know, we do shorts, we do features, we do music videos. Really been doing a lot of documentaries. We work with the Gilroy and Morgan Hill historical societies, and we interview the oldest residents, and which is to me one of my favorite projects, and is what inspired me to do one of our educational programs is 70 and up, and our veterans documentary, and I like those a lot because I love learning about people. I think everyone has an amazing story inside of them, and it's always fun to like get that up and out, you know.
Yeah, awesome. I think that's one of the main reasons a lot of us do film.
I think so.
Yeah. All right, so our final question. What have you been up to during the quarantine? Can you make any suggestions for fun activities to keep people sane? Great question.
Yes. I think watching films is a great thing, but also, you know, I have 2 dogs, and they like to go out for walks, and so I've been doing a lot of hiking, and sometimes I'll drive over to Santa Cruz because we live in an amazing place, right? We're like 45 minutes from our region is like paradise, but yeah, we're so close to like so many beautiful places. So yeah, getting outside I think is good, but also enjoying the arts.
Well, fantastic. There you have it, folks. That's all we have time for today. So, last thoughts, Mattie. Anything you'd like to say to our audience before we go?
We are an all-volunteer nonprofit organization, and we will be having a virtual fundraiser. We're going to do a movie trivia night, and we're going to have some live auctions. And so I hope that everyone who loves film and loves what we do will participate. It's December 1st. It's Giving Tuesday. So
there you go.
You'll hear a lot more about Giving Tuesday. So on Giving Tuesday, I actually think it's December 2nd. So December 2nd, Giving Tuesday is our virtual fundraiser. So join us, and even if you can't donate, you can try and see if you can figure out answers to the questions.
Yeah, it's always fun to participate. I don't go to trivia night at the bar for the prize in the trivia night. I'll say that.
Yeah, but this is movie stuff, so you probably would do really well. This is all about movies.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What are the prizes?
Well, we have our local businesses are putting stuff together. We have Grace for Life, who has a charcuterie company.
Okay, I might have to.
And then Maria Sid from the Maria Sid Farmers Insurance Agency is putting together an all garlic basket with wine and all kinds of good stuff.
Okay, I'll have to be there.
She knows her stuff. Like she's a wine connoisseur, so she's going to put something together really nice. So you can win a lot of stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again. Before we go, I'd like to take a moment to thank you so much for being here, Mattie. This has been an absolute pleasure. Audience, I'd like to thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know we can't see you, you can see us, and hopefully that will change soon. We miss you so much over here. I miss doing these live events, and I miss having you out in the seats, laughing and crying and booing and yaying all along with us, throwing stuff at us. We haven't had one of those spoons things in a while.
No tomatoes tonight.
Thank you to the production crew. We have Kevin Brown and Mindy Fan in the booth over there. You can't see them. They're behind the cameras. They're making all of this happen, posting up the questions, running everything behind there, making this nice and smooth and clean. So thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it, and audience really appreciates it as well. And of course, a reminder that this recording will be available online afterwards on both our Facebook and YouTube channels. And we just found out today it will also be available on CreaTV 30, our local public access channel. And moving forward, this will be live streamed on their channel as well, so you'll be able to catch it there as well.
Wow.
Speaking of which, well, I'll get to that in a second. So don't forget to check out the Poppy Jasper International Film Festival in the links below. And of course, check out the December 2nd event. Please be there, donate, enjoy the trivia. And of course, if you need creative space for creative productions, please give us a call here at Stage 1. We have all sorts of different sizes, spaces, backgrounds, equipment, and resources. Finally, we will be back next Wednesday with another episode of Local Impact featuring James Harris of San Jose's very own CreaTV. So don't miss it. Thank you once again for joining us. Have a great night.